Okay, guys, I'm trying something a little bit different here, and that I want to start making certain that I can do a little bit extra stuff whenever you guys have like a project or something and you need extra help. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you through real fast how we would go through the process of making the greeting cards project, or not greeting cards, the Greek trading cards project, if you hadn't done it from scratch. So I'm going to show you one thing I think that's pretty helpful whenever you're doing a project that's got multiple files, and that's just making a file of your own. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click, or you can also come up here to the new and you select folder. It's that easy. So new folder, and then we're going to name it for whatever the project's going to be called. Names are very important because that's how you're going to decide what all is going on where. So we're going to call this Greek Trading Card Project. Okay, so create that, and then you can see it's working, and then boop, there it is. That's handy. So we come to here, and you needed two files for this. You need two Google Docs. So you're going to come to New, Google Doc, and you click on it. And the first one is the Works Cited page that you needed. So all you have to do is change the title, Works Cited. And then down here, this is where you guys need to find sources for all of the Greek gods, including the 12 Olympians and 3 of your choice. So I'm going to open up a new tab, and we're going to start with one of my favorite websites for that. We're just going to search Greek gods and goddesses. And then you got all these different choices. Now, if you remember from the rubric I gave you that said you couldn't use Wikipedia, so we're not even going down here. Instead, we're going to come to this one, GreekGodsandGoddesses.net. And this is going to be your best friend for this project because you'll notice here if we mouse over gods, it gives us the choice of Olympians and Titans and other gods. So we've got all kinds of choices. Now, one thing I do want to point out is if you go by this website, it says that Hades is an Olympian. That's a matter of contention. The textbook says he's not. Some folks would consider him as an Olympian. He doesn't live on Olympus, though, so we're not going to count him. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, skip Hades, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, did I miscount that? It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So that gives us 13. So there's another one here that's not quite right. Interesting. Well, that's alright. That gives us a total of 13 gods that we can start with, and then we can add 2 more, no worries. So if we do the Olympians, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 6 is 13, plus 1 more for Hades gives us 14. We just got to pick one other god. Isn't that easy? Alright, so what you need to do, first we got to pick sources. So we're going to start with our boy Apollo. Alright, so we've got pictures, we've got information, and what we really want is this URL right here. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to come over here. We're going to start with our first god, Apollo. And we're going to paste. All I did there was hit Control-Z to paste it, or if I want to do it the old-fashioned way, I can right-click and paste. Either way. Hit Enter twice, tab again, and that puts us down spot for yet another source. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to another tab, and I'm going to say Apollo this time because we're starting with him. We don't want Wikipedia. Ugh, it's bad. GreekGodsandGoddesses.net. Well, that's what we already got up here, so we need him now too. That's something else entirely. GreekMythology.com. Interesting. Let's check that out. What does this look like? Does this look okay? Greek mythology. Ooh, all this information down here. I like it. Siblings. Very nice. Okay. Looks like a good source we can use. So we're going to copy that too. Control-C, Control-V, and that's our 2 sources for the god Apollo. So now we're just going to go down the list. Ares. Again, we just take that URL. Like soup. Forgot his name. Ares. And then since this one has him. Ah, there's Ares too. Nice. So we can do that. Control C, Control V, and it's just that easy. So now you just got to do all of the gods and make that happen. So by the time you're done, you should have a works cited page that's filled with all of the gods, with all their information, and you're ready to go. So now, our job is a little bit simpler. We're going to go to New, Godot, so now we can actually create the cards. And the way we're going to do this is a little bit different than the way I originally did in class, because I think this will make it a little bit easier to sort of envision as we go through it. What I'm going to do is I'm first going to rename it to Greek Trading Cards. And then I'm going to do what I did in class, but change one important thing. First, we're going to come up here to Insert, Table, and instead of going 3 by 5 to make 15 slots, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to 10, oh goodness, 10 by 30. Oh, let's just do 2 by 20. I said 10. That's wrong. We're going to do it again. So we can actually do this too. We can add rows and columns like that. If we do insert below, 1, or we can just do it by coming down here and hit insert table, and we already have 20, so we're just going to do 2 by 10. And there you go. Adds a little gap there, but that's okay. That's fine. Alright, so the way we're going to do this, and why this is different, is whenever we did it the other way, at school, we had it so that the fronts were all together and the backs were all together. Well, we're going to do it this way, is we're going to have the front over here, and then we're going to put the back over here. So they're going to line up. I think that might make things a little bit easier for us to see, don't you? I thought you would agree. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is we need to find our god. So we're going to start with our boy Apollo. So we got to find us a good picture of Apollo. So I don't want to use any of the ones on our sources just yet, though we certainly could. Let's do search for Apollo. There's all kinds of stuff that we can do, but I kind of like the more epic look to him. So that's pretty cool looking. That's pretty cool too. AD carry, nice. Alright, so we're going to go with this look, I think. He's kind of like, you know, looking backwards. That'll work. So, once again, I'm right-clicking on it, and I'm going to copy image. You can do this a couple different ways, but I like doing it this way. Come up to the top, Control V, boom. Alright, so if you remember, we require 2 things on the front of the card, beyond that of the picture. We need the name of the god, for both ancient Greek and Roman. So this is where our sources come in. So we know he's named Apollo in ancient Greece. Well, what is he in Rome? So let's find that out let's follow this, our first website. We're going to open the link, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Roman name is Apollo. That's pretty easy. It's Apollo in both. Handy that. So we're going to come over here. I like to center them to make them look nice and neat and pretty. And now we need our data. We need our information. So there's a few things we need. If we look at the rubric, the first thing it requires is the relationships. Who are his friends, family, that sort of thing. We've got parents, Zeus and Leto. Siblings include Artemis, lots of children. So basically I said pick 3. And so, you know, we can absolutely do that. So his parents were Zeus and Leto. Oop, misspelled. That's important to fix. And his siblings included the goddess Artemis. Oop. Alright, so that's relationships done. Now we need, what is Apollo the god of? Let's follow this other link to go have a look at that. Alright. Apollo. See, there's the same information. That means we're in good shape. Rules over music, prophecy, and archery and healing. Having a bit of an issue right there. There we go. He was the god of prophecy. Lowercase prophecy. Archery. And what else did it say? Healing and music. Lovely music. Alright, the next question we had is, what are his symbols? I come over here. Rules over, well, that same kind of stuff. Symbols. The lyre, which is the thing. Laurel wreath, raven, bow, and arrows. So, pick 3 of those. His symbols included the raven, bow, and arrow, and the lyre. Okay. Alright. So that's 3 things. We still need 3 facts about him. So we can find that out because his twin sister to Artemis is also bestowed archery. The 9 muses were his companions. Sweet. What else we got? Let's go over here. So Speeds, we found out what happened. Okay. Yeah, all kinds of things. Sanctuaries. Cool. Sent the dragon Python to Sir Leto with all the better to give birth. And he went, Leto first delivered Artemis. For help to deliver Apollo as well. Goodness. Killed the Python. Interesting. Python. A giant snake. Which is where the name for pythons come from, mind you. And the dolphin was one of his sacred animals. Sacred animals. Alright. That's 1, 2, 3 facts. So our last thing that we need to do for the back of this, I'm actually struggling to remember what that one was. And this is why it's always helpful to have the rubric. I'm of course out of copies, but it is pretty useful, I think. Let's see. You guys are probably screaming at the screen right now. They'll be like, it's this. You should have had this. And you'd be correct. I'm not sure. So I'm going to be able to cheat. Go back to the copies I already made and look it up and try to figure out what it was I was supposed to do. Digital Greek trading cards. Is this somebody's? Is that what this is? Oh, it is. Look how nice they look. It's fantastic. Siblings, fridges, and these. Parents. That doesn't exactly help. We'll have to look at that. Anyways. Great trading cards. What have we got down here? Oh, these are all the ones that were shared with me. There we go. That looks nice too. Wonder whose these are. If you see it, what's yours? That might be exciting. Siblings, symbols. What are they the god of? 3 facts. Oh, right. The most important question of all. What do they represent? So what does Apollo represent? Well, What is he the god of? He's art, the sun, all kinds of things. And that's probably his most important thing, because you can see that's his one of his pistols. Apollo explains why the sun rises each day along which actually makes sense why his sister, his twin, Artemis, is the goddess of the moon, because it's the sun and the moon and the cycle, they say, was an explanation of the two. Oh, goodness, that's way too big. Let's come back. 24, too much. That's way too much. 14, about 18. Yeah, that looks nice. Got the nice big size, fills out the card, and then we could print that out, and that's that. So that was one card done. All you would have to do is do this for the rest of the cards, the rest of the 12 Olympians, plus your 3 extra gods, and then you'd have them all nice and neat. And then if we were going to print these out, you could cut it all out, these lines right here, paste them together, and you'd have a nice little card right there. Alright, well I think that pretty much answers that question. I'm going to stop the video, and hopefully we should be in good shape. So I hope you enjoy, and hopefully this is helpful.